this manipulative woman is absolutely vile. Absolutely vile. And I have no sympathy for her. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and that you had a great week. As you can see, I'm in the car. I'm so busy today. But to all of my house guests, welcome. Grab yourselves a drink and make yourselves comfortable. If you're passing by and you'd like to become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I'm Chez, this is Chez M0i. Welcome to my place. Since this year's Wimbledon tennis tournament back in July, every appearance Kate has made has been heralded as a comeback. How many comebacks can a queen in waiting have? If she's doing part-time hours, does that mean she now gets part-time pay? Obviously, knowing what we know now about William's financial position, Kate's work schedule is of no consequence. At least her father-in-law is more conscious of the optics and appears to want to work, even though he may not be in the best of health. When William recently revealed that his daughter was upset when she saw his beard for the first time, why were there no questions raised about William's living arrangements? Because surely, if you're living in the same house as your kids, they would have seen the beard growth over a number of days or weeks. So how could Charlotte have been upset by her father's new beard? If there's a plausible explanation, I'd love for my curiosity to be satisfied. As we approach the end of 2024, it pretty much resembles the beginning of the year, a year in which we have been constantly lied to by the PR team from Kensington Palace. Every public appearance that William and Kate make, whether together or apart, is heralded as something to be excited about when really there's nothing to be excited about. Either the crowds boo when they see William, or there are hardly any crowds when the couple turn up to an event. Now that Kate told us she's on the mend, it's interesting to note that not an eyebrow was raised when she didn't accompany her husband to South Africa recently for the Earthshot Prize. When the whales are absent, there is no vacuum, because a whale's absence, just like a whale's presence, is not profitable. By contrast, however, Meghan can't seem to catch a break, whether she makes a public appearance or not, whether she's with Harry or not.
Just been to see that wicked film with Ariana Grande. Can I just say, that Green Witch was brilliant. Definitely giving it 5 stars.
You know, she's not actually green, she's black.
Right, give me some dirt now. Go.
Grammy winning, Oscar nominated.
No, I can't use any of that. I suffer from IBS.
Irritable bowel syndrome.
No, ignoring black success. Where are all the crimes? Has you ever robbed anyone?
No.
Murder?
No.
Have you ever stepped on a worm?
Maybe.
Right, well, we gotta go and interview some then.
Wait.
Have you ever been affected by Cynthia Erivo? Have you ever been affected by Cynthia Erivo? Have you ever been affected by Cynthia Erivo? Right, forget it. Right, the article. Need a picture. Is this her?
No.
Is this her?
No.
Is this her?
Mate, you're just showing random black people.
It's kind of what we do, Colin.
Just try writing one nice word.
Okay, fine. I can't do it.
Come on, should we just put Ariana Grande on all the front covers?
Yeah.
And then do you want to go write an article about how Meghan Markle started global warming?
Yeah.
Come on.
It has become more noticeable that the appetite for Meghan has become so insatiable that whenever she's not in full view of the public gaze, the tabloids will fill the vacuum with the most unbelievably fabricated stories, always concluding that Harry has had enough and is ready to leave her and return to the UK. Does Harry really look like he's had enough and ready to come back to the UK? This time 5 years ago, Harry and Meghan were in Canada. A few months later, in early 2020, they announced they were stepping back from royal duties and relocated to the States, an act which a section of the UK public are happy never to forgive, even though Harry made it known that he had been thinking about this for a while. From time to time, the trash media will dredge up the crusty side of Meghan's family, who trot out the same tired old narrative about Meghan's kids not being her kids, giving people free rein to question the very existence of Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet because they are rarely seen in public. Let me show you why we have an epidemic of undiagnosed mental illness in our communities, and I say this in all seriousness. We know that Meghan and Harry have been advocating for online child safety for quite a while now, and they recently launched their initiative, the Parents Network, to support the families of children who have unalived themselves as a direct result of cyberbullying. With that in mind, I would really like someone to explain something to me. Does it make sense for a married couple who are serious about child protection to parade their 2 children in public at every given opportunity? I can guarantee you one thing. If Harry and Meghan decided to use their children for indiscriminate publicity, the same idiots who want proof that Archie and Lily exist are the very same idiots who would crucify their parents while screaming, "Hypocrite." I will say it again. We have an epidemic of undiagnosed mental illness in our communities. I mentioned Canada earlier, and while Harry is there on Invictus business,
Harry, what's that all
What
about?
dude, Prince Harry, dude, what a dude. The Duke of Sussex, man. He's the guy. He was awesome. What a sweet guy, man. I don't know how familiar you are with the Invictus games, but man, what they're doing with that is just one of the greatest acts of humanity and bringing people together I've ever seen and honoring those that deserve to be honored. And I'm honored to get to do it.
Awesome.
people are still brain deprived enough to insert into the media vacuum that Meghan's absence directly correlates to Harry heading back to the UK in the not too distant future. Remember, when Meghan does accompany Harry on a foreign trip, notice it's the same brain-deprived individuals who always accuse Meghan of neglecting her kids, just like they did when the Sussexes were in Nigeria, just like they did when the Sussexes were in Colombia. Now, if you required an image next to the word resilient, this is what the image would look like. Meghan is a natural at rising above the toxic waste being spewed by petty individuals because she knows her time is much better invested in people with whom she has much more in common and who she loves to be around. This article is from marieclaire.com, written by Kristin Contino and published on the 22nd of November 2024. The headline reads, "Exclusive. Meghan Markle hosts heartfelt holiday dinner for Afghan women starting new lives in America. The Duchess of Sussex sat down with Marie Claire to discuss the Archwell Foundation's Welcome Project and her own holiday traditions with Prince Harry, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. Holiday traditions were meant to be shared, passed down through generations, working side by side in the kitchen, or sharing stories around the living room. But for one group of Afghan women who have resettled in California, many of whom have been separated from their families for years, new memories are being created with friends who understand the complex joy and sadness of celebrating far from home. For Meghan Markle, it's about empowering these women through a community that celebrates both their heritage and their fresh beginnings. It's a Saturday night in Venice Beach, California, and I'm sitting across the table from the Duchess of Sussex as we share dinner with the women of Mina's List, an organisation that empowers women in the fields of politics and human rights, and the southern chapter of the Archwell Foundation's Welcome Project. Launched in 2023, the initiative was created by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's Foundation to support programs for women who have resettled in the United States from Afghanistan. There are currently 11 Welcome Project branches in 9 states across the country, including one in San Antonio, which Prince Harry and Meghan visited in March. The Duchess met many of the women here in Venice Beach during a cooking event in February, and I'm struck by the easy conversation they share as dishes are passed around the lantern-lit tables in the garden at Our Place, a woman and immigrant-owned cookware company. We dig into the mouth-watering Middle Eastern-inspired dishes created by Soho House chef Shane Fatemian, himself an Iranian immigrant, as stories are shared and poetry is read. Connection is a common theme throughout the night. From my standpoint, I think part of why we wanted to make sure we had this opportunity to all be together again, so many of us, right now, is that as the holidays come up, and have already begun in many regards, it brings up so much emotion for people, the Duchess tells the group. You miss home, you miss your country, and also can find comfort in the new community that you have here, she continues, adding, I'm grateful that we are able to be part of that community. The Duchess of Sussex, dressed in her signature neutrals, checks in with each woman at our table, following up on conversations they had earlier this year when she joined the group to cook traditional Afghan food. Like her husband, Prince Harry, she possesses the gift of not only making everyone in the room feel instantly comfortable, but also valued, and working in this business, I can assure you that is no small feat. The article continues in finer detail about the work of the Welcome Project. It also touches on the work that Meghan did in London in 2017 with the women of the Grenfell community after the fire, the unfortunate fire that took the lives of many people, and the resulting cookbook that they all worked on. It concludes with Meghan just touching on the plans that she has for Thanksgiving and Christmas with her mum, Harry and the children. And finally, just before the evening ends, the journalist asks her one question, which I found really interesting. Soon enough, it's time to say goodbye. Before we go, I asked the Duchess what Americans can do to help women like the ones we met feel more at home here. Her answer is simple. It's really easy. Just think about how you'd want someone to treat you. How would you want someone to open their arms to you? This is how a member of the royal family should be. And if me saying that angers you, I'm glad. Unfortunately, the members of the royal family that are considered to be working members of the royal family are not earning their keep. Whether you like it or not, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, is still a member of the royal family. And if you think that a divorce from Harry that you crave so much nullifies that membership, then you have to apply the same measure to Sarah, Duchess of York, currently, and to Diana, Princess of Wales, posthumously. It's refreshing to learn that in an overwhelming sea of misinformation, mistruths, fabrication and pure lies, there's at least one journalist who had the opportunity to observe Meghan and have a dialogue with her, confirming what most of us already know, that Meghan is a person of good character. The vacuum that Meghan appears to have left by being very low-key is something that I personally hope she does more frequently. At the end of the day, she doesn't care what people think about her. She's here for a purpose, and there are multitudes of people across the globe who sincerely appreciate every effort she makes. So guys, it's much later now. As you can see, I've changed my jacket, my coat, whatever. You know when you promise you're going to do something weeks beforehand, thinking that you're going to be in the mood? This is one of those evenings when I'm not in the mood to go out. It is cold. It is cold. It is windy. We've got a storm, Bert or Bernie, I don't even know. But yeah, guys, it's not a nice evening, and I really want to curl up with a nice cup of tea and chill for the evening, but I can't. So before I go, I'm just going to share my final thoughts with regard to what's happened this week. I've been really pleasantly surprised with that Marie Claire article, and it just goes to show how much Meghan really blocks out the noise. Noise this week made by her half-sister. This half-sister that is so bitter and miserable. If you guys remember a video that I did, I think it was in 2023, early 2023. I'll show the thumbnail here. And I kind of examined why Samantha Grant is the way that she is. This week, she's obviously looking for another payday. So they've dragged her out. And she's talking about the unfortunate passing of her mum, Rosalind. We all know she did not have a close relationship with this woman. This is an excerpt from an article published on the 14th of December 2022 by Harper's Bazaar. In the docuseries, Hale opens up about her upbringing. It was agreed by everyone, by myself and my brother, to be raised by our grandparents, she explains. So they got custody of us when I was probably around 2 years old, and ultimately they did adopt us. So I was raised by my paternal grandparents. For me, they were my parents. According to the docuseries, Meghan and Hale reconnected and grew close around 2007, when Hale and her mother also reconnected, during which they often travelled together. She takes on a lot of roles for me, Hale says of the Duchess of Sussex. There's a sister element, there's something maternal, she's a best friend, she's kind of all the things. She was like a little sister, Meghan affirms.
Ashley is the one who has a close relationship with Harry and also Archie and Lily. Another reason why Samantha Grant will be upset and jealous, using Rosalind's death as an excuse to shed crocodile tears and remind Meghan once again that she needs to speak to her dad before it's too late. This manipulative woman is absolutely vile. Absolutely vile. And I have no sympathy for her. But like I say, I'm glad to see a positive piece written by a journalist, an actual journalist as far as I'm concerned, who does have journalistic integrity. And if you watched last week's video, you'll know what I'm referring to. The amount of work that the Archwell Foundation has done in a few years, I'm encouraged. I'm really encouraged. and long may it continue. I'm just so happy that Meghan and Harry just get on with what they need to get on with. And a lot of people are so grateful to them. I just want it to continue, and I just pray literally that 2025 is even bigger and better for them, despite what goes on in the UK, despite what her crusty family want to say. Actually, I should say some members of the crusty side of her family, because Ashley clearly is not that. Guys, if you have members of your family who behave like this, you will sympathize. I also wanted to mention the fact that no one, the news media over here kind of skimmed over this masked raid on the Waleses property. I don't even know which property it is because I was so not engaged. You know, it was briefly touched on and then nothing. Had it been the Sussexes, they would have interviewed the dustbin man. They would have interviewed every cat on the block. They would have interviewed every dog on the block. With regard to this incident, nothing. Like I say, my focus is on the Sussexes with regard to, you know, what's going on socially. And I'm really excited to see what they're going to do going forward. And I hope 2025 is much better for them in every way, despite the noise that they continually have to block out. So with that said, guys, if your thoughts were provoked in any way, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Pray for me while I go out into this weather, guys. You should catch me in the next video.